In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add tracking to your Calendly form using something like Google Tag Manager and send that data to Facebook via both browser or using the Facebook conversion API. And I'm really excited to share this video because that's actually a question that I get asked so often, because it's really tricky to track Calendly widgets on a website since most of the time it's embedded on a page, and Google Tag Manager usually doesn't really play too well with anything that's embedded on a website. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to track it. I've even made a template that you can just download for free and you'll be able to just use it, just change your pixel ID, and it's actually going to track all the important stuff like when they're viewing the calendar widget, when they've selected the time, and obviously most important, when they actually schedule the time. And all that data is going to be sent to Facebook so that in Ads Manager you're going to be able to see exactly how many people have scheduled an appointment with you, and then potentially pause ads that just have a high cost per schedule, and then scale ads that don't. So that's exactly what we're going to be covering in this video. And like I said, I've done all the work. All you have to do is just download the template, and usually I recommend people to have a little bit of experience with Google Tag Manager or with tracking in order to watch my videos and kind of do it yourself. But for this video, honestly, even if you have no clue what Google Tag Manager is, you should actually still be able to just use the template, just change your pixel ID, and I'll show you exactly where you can go to find that pixel ID, and then that's it. You can just publish it and your tracking is going to work. So really excited to be sharing this content with you guys. Okay, so first you'll obviously need a Google Tag Manager account. And in case you're not familiar with Google Tag Manager, it's actually completely free to use. You can just navigate to tagmanager.google.com. And then if you don't have an account, you're going to see an option like this where it's going to ask you to create your account. So I'm just going to create a new container right here. And you're just going to give it a name. And then for the first one, you're going to click on web. Okay. And then by the end of this video, you're actually going to have it set up like this. So I'm just going to go over the tags, triggers, and variables, and then I'm going to show you exactly how you can download this template and then import it inside your Google Tag Manager container so that you can literally just have this set up, publish it, and start tracking all users that fill up your calendar form. So like I explained earlier in this video, we're going to be setting this up via both browser and server. And in case you're hearing this and you're like, Cedric, I don't know what server is, like what's the Facebook conversion API? I've made other videos exactly explaining what it is, so I'm not going to talk about that too much, but just know that it's honestly just the best way to set up your tracking, to have both a browser and server set up. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So just know that you're following best practices and you've got the best setup that you could potentially have. Okay, so here, anything that says FB, that stands for browser tracking. It's just a regular Facebook pixel. Anything that says conversion API, well, that is for server-side tracking. Okay, so let's actually just start with all the tags that says FB. And basically what we've got here is we've got a page view tag that just sends like a page view event to Facebook. We've got the view content, and that's actually when they are viewing your calendar, right? So when they're viewing your Calendly calendar, then that's actually gonna fire this event right here. And then we have the date and time selected. That's pretty simple, right? That's when they select a specific date and time. And then this one here, the schedule, that's when they've successfully scheduled an appointment, okay? So those are the tags. And then we've actually got a custom HTML tag here. And guys, you don't need to change anything. I'm just explaining the templates just so you can understand it. But what this does is it actually listens to event, and it works in combination with our triggers right here. So all you gotta know is these all work together. You don't need to change anything as long as you have Google Tag Manager embedded on your landing page. And that's the key thing to remember. You need to create a landing page, whether that's on WordPress, ClickFunnels, high level, doesn't matter. Just create a landing page that is on your domain, and then you want to install Google Tag Manager on that landing page, right? You can just click here and you can see exactly what are the steps to install it on your website. And what you want to do is you want to embed the Calendly widget on that website. That's really, really important. If you just share a link, because sometimes in Calendly you can just share like a link so people like can schedule a time with you. That link is not on your domain, so you need to make sure that your Calendly widget is embedded on a website that you own. Again, it can be like a blank WordPress page, it can be a blank ClickFunnels page, you pick. It just needs to be on your domain where Google Tag Manager is installed. Okay, so that's just one of the key things to remember. If not, it will not work, but it's pretty simple to do. You just can get any web builder and just embed the Calendly widget on your website. But that is the setup for the web container. that, and then right above, it's literally the exact same thing. It sends the same events, but here it's actually sending it to the conversion API. And then if we go to variable right here, it's actually just going to show you what are the variables that you need to update. It literally just says it here, update after import. Anything that does not say that, you do not need to update it. So that's why I'm saying it's super simple to set up, because as you can see, there's only 2 things that you need to update, and I'll show you exactly where you can go to find those values right here. But that is it. So that is for the web container. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a server container that is gonna be responsible for sending data to the Facebook conversion API. And honestly, guys, you don't need to know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what a server container is, just follow along and just trust me that I know what I'm doing, and you're gonna have a good setup. And then when you look inside Ads Manager, your data is gonna be really accurate, okay? But you're also gonna have a server container just like this one with all these tags, triggers, and variables, and they've all been created for you. Okay, so let's actually start with the template right here. So this link is gonna be in the description of this video. All you gotta do is just put your information here, and you're gonna receive an email, or actually, sorry, you're gonna receive 2 emails, and I'll just explain what these emails are. Here, you're gonna see a video. You don't need to watch it because it is the exact same video that you're currently watching here. It's just in case, I don't know, you forget the link on YouTube. It's just in case you want another way to watch this video. It's also going to be embedded on this page, okay? So all you got to do is just fill up your information right here. So I'm just going to put my email, say demo, and then I'm going to click on get access, and then perfect. So I'm going to receive 2 emails. So I'm going to just go to my inbox, and then perfect. So that is the first email right here. And if I click on a get file right here, it's gonna open this up. So there's 2 files that you need to download, okay? And then when you download these files, you need to make sure that you download it in a JSON format. If ever you download it and it's like, I don't know, it gets converted to TXT or something, it's not an issue with the template, or on my end really, it's an issue with your computer. You just gotta double check the way that your computer is saving those files. So if it downloads in something else than a JSON, the issue is on your computer and not with the template, okay? And what you wanna do is start with the web container. So you can click the little 3 dots here, and then go ahead and download the web container, and then you can download the server container, okay? And then if I go back to my email, I'm actually gonna receive another email, and this email is right here, is from Stape. So you have the option if ever you wanna just do browser tracking, and that's gonna be pretty good, you know? But then if you also wanna have that cherry on top and just make sure you're following best practices, then it's actually to set up the server container, right? And doing server-side tracking, AKA using the Facebook conversion API. So this is what we're gonna do after, but first we had to start with the foundation, which is just regular web tracking. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go inside the web container, which is right here. And then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want, again, download that template as a JSON format. You're gonna click on admin right here, and then you're gonna click on import container, and then choose from container file. So you would just go ahead and choose the JSON file. Just remember, when you're playing with the web container, you wanna make sure that you're uploading the one here that says web, right? So if I open up the file here, you see it says web at the end. That's for the web container. The other one's for the server container. So going back here, upload the file, choose the default workspace, which is this one, and then make sure you select merge and not overwrite, and then that's fine. And you're gonna see like a save button at the top right, and then that's it. So once you've done that, you're actually gonna see all these tags, triggers, and variables. And like I said, the only thing you really need to change with the template is anything that says update after import. So if we look here, we can actually see that the Facebook pixel needs to be updated, and then the server URL needs to be updated. So let's actually start with the Facebook pixel. So in case you don't know how to get your Facebook pixel ID, you can just go to Advanced Manager, and just go to adsmanager.com, and then if you click on the all tools here, most likely you have a lot of experience, you know, when you're just going to Ads Manager. But right here, under Advanced Manager, it's gonna show up a page like this, or it might show you the overview. Just click on data sources, and right here you're gonna be able to see your data set ID, which is your Facebook pixel. Okay, they just renamed it, now it's called the data set. And then if we go to Google Tag Manager, all you're gonna wanna do is open this up. And then right now I just set a value of 123, so we're gonna change that, and we're gonna put our Facebook pixel ID, and just go ahead and remove the update after import, just so that you know that you know, you've updated and you don't need to do that anymore. And then that is it. So now I could literally just go ahead and submit, and I would be sending events to Facebook for my Calendly page. And let me actually just show you in real time. So I'm gonna go ahead and preview a page, and don't forget, my Calendly widget is embedded on my page. I am not just previewing a Calendly link, because it will not work. So now we can see that I viewed the calendar. So if we go to Tag Assistant, And if we open up, probably, yeah, there you go, number 10, we can actually see that Google Tag Manager sent a view content to Facebook, right? We can see the event right here because I viewed the calendar. So right now, Facebook just received, well, they received the page view because automatically under container loaded, they received the page view event. And then they've also received a view content event because I viewed the calendar, right? And now if I go here and then let's say I select this right here. So 9:30 a.m. I'm next. Perfect. So I've just selected a time, right? So now we should actually see another event being sent to Facebook. So if we look here, right here, right? So we can see that we were able to send an event to Facebook. This is browser tracking. This is server tracking. In case you're wondering why this one says succeeded and this one says failed, is because we updated the Facebook pixel ID, but we didn't update the transport URL. That's the other thing that we had to update in the variables, and that's why it's failing right now, okay? But that's fine. We'll update that in just a second. But as you can see, this is working. And it would be the same thing if I were to schedule the appointment. All we would see is like another event just like this one, then it would say schedule, and then it would send the schedule event. So like I said, you can actually just go here and now publish it, and then perfect. Congrats guys, you're now doing browser tracking, and whenever someone fills up the form or just wants to select a date and time, you're sending all these events to Facebook so you can properly optimize, let's say for the schedule event or for the view content event. That's what you're optimizing for. But pro tip, optimize for the schedule event. But this is not the end. You could potentially finish here, but you most likely also want to send the data via the server just to get a better cost per schedule, view content, or whatever you're optimizing for. And it truly makes a difference because a lot of users these days have ad blockers. You've got Safari that is shortening the lifespan of your cookies, and it's just a lot harder these days for Facebook to just be able to track and attribute, let's say, your scheduled events with Facebook users these days, and server-side tracking definitely helps. That's why it's worth it just to watch maybe the remaining 5 or 10 minutes of this video just to get really the full setup. But like I said, you could potentially just submit it and it would be better than, you know, having any tracking for sure. But yeah, so you can submit that, but what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go back to the email. And like I said, you should have received 2 emails. The first one was the template, and I know guys, we haven't used this other server template yet because we have to set this up first. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on set password here. And in case you're not familiar with Stape, Stape is actually a platform that allows you to create a server, and they do have a free plan. And what you can do is you can use the Stape server to send the data to the Facebook conversion API. Without getting too technical, a Facebook conversion API is basically, I mean, it's an API gateway that is here to accept information. But to transport the information from your website or Google Tag Manager to Facebook, you need to have a server. You need to have something that transports the information, and this is what Stape does. And guys, this is completely different than just like your web hosting. You cannot use your web hosting to do something like that. You need a server service like Stape, or Google Cloud is another option. But if ever you are getting like a decent amount of like requests per month, Stape is a better option just because it's cheaper, and Google Cloud is more technical and harder to set up. So what you're gonna do here is just set up a password. I'm just gonna say, okay. And once you're here, you're gonna click on create container. Now we just gotta create our server container. So let me actually go back here. I already had a server container, but just so you guys can see the full demonstration, I'm gonna actually create a new one. So click the little plus here, and I'm gonna call this Calendly server. You can probably just call this like server side or just SS for, you know, server side. It's completely up to you. I just have so many server containers, so I'm gonna name it something unique. And then I'm gonna click on server, and then we can hit create. Now, really important, don't click too fast. You do not want to click on this big blue button here. What we want to do is click on manually provision tagging server, okay? So don't click on this button, and then here it's gonna give you a config URL. So you're gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna go back to Stape right here. And then this is a container configuration ID. I'm just gonna paste that right here, right? That's the thing that we just copied. And I think I called it Calendly server. And then the server location, just try to pick a location that is the closest to you. So I'm actually in Canada, so I'm just gonna select Canada, but you know, if you're in the States, just select States. This doesn't really matter. Like even if it's, I don't know, even if you live somewhere where you're saying like the server is not near you, that's fine. And then we're gonna click on create container. Now, like I said, they have a free plan. I'm gonna use the free plan just because this is demo. You get 10,000 requests per month. So for some of you guys, that might actually be all you need. But for others, you might actually need to get on a Pro plan or Pro Plus plan. I would say if you are running Facebook ads, doing server-side tracking is definitely a must. And like I said, I've shopped around, and Stape is probably one of the cheapest way to get set up and also the easiest way to get set up. So I strongly recommend that. Well, start with the free plan, but then, you know, moving forward, you should probably do that versus a Google Cloud. So I'm just click on continue with the free plan, and then I'm just gonna go back to the container, and then here we got it. We've got this server container created. What I recommend that you do is that you add your own custom subdomain. So you can click on add a custom domain right here. And then all you have to know is that you wanna have a subdomain that is unique. So for example, our domain name is vertexmarketingagency.com. So I could create a domain called ss.vertexmarketingagency.com. SS stands for server side. Usually I'll say, as a general rule, use your company name and then add SS at the front. So again, it would be SS, let me just make sure I'm typing, ss.vertexmarketingagency.com. That simple, okay? Just make sure that if you're gonna use something else, that the subdomain is unique. And this is just for tracking, guys. This is not a landing page. People won't be able to go there. This is just a URL that's gonna be used to transport the data from Google Tag Manager to the Facebook. I know it might sound complicated or technical, but it's actually really easy to set up. So don't worry about that. I'm just trying to explain it in case you're curious, but the subdomain right here just acts as a way to transport the data from Google Tag Manager to the Facebook conversion API. And you could use a default server that they give you, but I actually recommend that you create, sorry, it's right here, but I recommend that you create your own just because you wanna keep things in a first party context, okay? So all I gotta do is put in your domain. Again, that would be an example for my company. You could put whatever your domain name is here, and then you click on add CDN, and you can use a Stape CDN. It's probably one of the easiest way to get started. And then it's gonna give you two CNAMEs. You have to go inside your DNS provider. So that could be GoDaddy, it could be Cloudflare, and all you have to do is create two records. So first record is gonna be, again, a CNAME, and then the host name is gonna be SS, and then the value is right here. And then you're gonna create another CNAME record. Then it's gonna be load.ss, and then the value is gonna be right here, okay? If you are using Cloudflare, I believe you just wanna make sure that you're not proxying it. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, that's usually something that Cloudflare does automatically when you add a record. They're gonna try to proxy it. But if you're using like something like GoDaddy, just add the two CNAMEs. It's gonna be really simple, okay? For now, and because this is a demo, I'm actually just gonna use the domain name that Stape provides me. And in case you're really confused here and you cannot add DNS records yourself, just go ahead and use this domain right here, right? You can literally just copy it and then you can use it right away, okay? But I do recommend that you set up your own subdomain. And if you don't know how to do that, maybe just reach out to your developers just so that they can easily do that. But guys, it literally takes a minute or 2 minutes just to add those records, okay? But let's actually go here now, and I'm gonna click on admin, and right here, we're gonna click on container settings, and then we're gonna add our URL. So like I said, I'm using the Stape URL. So if ever you're using your own custom subdomain, it might take about like 24 hours to like verify. And then once it's verified, you would put your own custom subdomain right here. And that's pretty much it. Now I can click save. And if I go to workspace and I preview this container, you're gonna see that now the server container, that's a preview of the server container, and we can actually see the subdomain right here, or the Stape domain right here. If you're using your own domain, then you would actually see your own domain right here. So now let's actually go back to the web container. So I'm just gonna duplicate this because we will need to kind of jump back and forth between the web container and the server container. And we're gonna go to variables. And then remember, we had one variable that we had to update, right? So this one right here, as an example, I set it to ss.example.com. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna add the Stape's domain right here. But again, if you're using your own domain, then you would add your own domain right here. Now I'm just gonna remove the update after import just so that I know it's been done. And then that's it. Now I can go to the server container. And then what you're gonna wanna do now is actually import the server container template. So same thing, go to admin, import container, and then you're gonna choose a container file, and then it's gonna be the Calendly tracking server. I'm actually doing it with you here because I created a new container. And then yes, the default workspace, you're gonna select on merge, and then that's it. Now I can hit confirm. So now if we go to tags, we're actually gonna see this tag right here. We're gonna see that it comes with this client. We can actually delete this client because we don't need the GA4 client. We can just keep the data client. And then if we go to tags, that's all good. But then if we go to variables, there's going to be 2 things that we have to update. So same thing here. We want to add our Facebook pixel. So I'm going to go here, click on data set, right? Go, I think it's this one. Yeah, perfect. And then add my Facebook pixel ID right here, or my data set ID. And then because I've done that, I'm just going to remove this from the name. That's it. And we've got one more, the FB API token, right guys? So, you know, it's not too hard. And then now we're gonna get the API token. So it's pretty simple. Just go to Events Manager, click on Settings, and then just scroll down right here. You see Generate Access Token, click on that. Make sure you're an admin, and then click to copy that. Going back here, and then we're gonna paste the value of the pixel. And guys, that's it. That's really it. There's just maybe one more thing you can do inside Stape. And it's actually just to go here under power-ups, and then you see here where it says user ID, just go ahead and click use, and then enable that, save changes. And in case you're wondering what this does, it actually creates a unique user ID for any events that you send to Facebook via the server. And basically what that does is it helps with attribution on Facebook's end. So it just kind of gives you a boost, okay? So something that you can just easily just turn on. And the way that I've built a template is that it knows exactly how to handle this parameter right here. And it's already been added to the tag. So you don't need to even worry about setting up anything else. You have to just turn that on and then just let my template do the work, okay? So now if we go back to the server container, we can actually just test it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna delete the preview here and go back to the server container. When you're testing, you preview the server container first, and then you preview the web container. So this is a server container, right? We know that just because it says clients right here. And then I'm just gonna preview the server container, go back here, and then preview the web container. Perfect, so now we should actually be sending a page view. So if I go to container loaded, we can see that now it actually says succeeded because we've updated the server. So this right now is sending a page view event to Facebook via the browser, and it sends it via the server. And in case you're wondering, like, wait, I'm sending it via browser and server, like, won't I duplicate my data? Like, I don't want Facebook to think I'm getting 2 users. Like, how are they gonna know it's the same user and just coming from both browser and server? Well, we're actually sending an event ID. So if you open up the page view event, you see right here, event ID, and this is the ID of this event. And then now we're sending that same event ID right here to the server. So Facebook receives an event from, let's say, both browser and server, and that event has the same ID. And then now they know to only keep one event, and usually they keep the browser, and then they just kind of like and then they kind of just trash that other event because they don't need it. But in the event where the user is using an ad blocker, or I don't know, there's any other thing that is blocking the regular Facebook pixel from loading on the website, it's only going to receive the server, and that's why this setup is so valuable. Let's just go check our other events. Let me just select a time here. Click next. So I just selected a time, so we should actually be getting something here. Perfect. So we're getting the FB date and time selected, and we're also sending it to the Facebook conversion API. And to just verify that, we can actually look at the conversion API preview now. We can see that Facebook received the page view event, and in case you're technical and you want to have a look at it, you can click on values here. You can see what is the data that was sent to Facebook, and then you can even look at the post request that was sent to Facebook, and then this response right here just tells you that it was accepted. But again, you don't need to worry about that. Just when you're previewing, just make sure it says succeeded. If it says failed, then most likely it's an issue with your Facebook pixel ID or your API token, and that's probably because you're not an admin, and when you create that token, it allows you to create the token, but you don't have admin access, meaning you can't send data to that endpoint. Hopefully this makes sense. And then date and time selected, same thing here, right? So we were able to send the event, and then just for fun, I'll go ahead and just fill up some information here, and then we're gonna schedule the event, and then perfect, the event was scheduled. And then if I go here, perfect. So we're sending the schedule event via the browser. We're also sending it via the server. And then let's take a look at the server container. We can see server container got the data, it sent it to Facebook via the Facebook conversion API. And guys, that's pretty much it. So now we're doing both browser and server tracking. We're following best practices, and we're doing that with Calendly, that is an iframe on your website. So it's a really, really cool setup. Don't forget that you want to publish both the web and the server container. So just go ahead and click submit. You can give it a name if you want and hit publish at the top right. And then you want to do the same thing with the server container. If not, that setup won't be deployed. But guys, that is it. So hopefully you found this video valuable. I know that it's something that a lot of you guys struggle with, tracking iframes like Calendly on your website. And personally for me, for a long time, this was one of the reasons why I didn't really like Calendly and why I didn't want to use it. But with this solution right here, you can actually track all your schedule events, and in Ads Manager, see how many schedule event a specific campaign generated. So that is it for this video. If you've liked this content, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we release videos just like this one every week. Bye for now.